And were there some budding bromances? They're getting into all the highlights and low blows. And Governor John Kasich tells you what the cameras didn't catch when he talks live in Hot Topics. Then, the students whose video is going viral right now are here with the teacher they helped love through her battle with breast cancer. Plus, Elijah Wood and Leigh Whannell. It all starts now on The View with Whoopi, Michelle Collins, Joy Behar, Raven Simone, and Paula Ferris. Now, let's get things started.
Welcome to The View, y'all. Welcome to The View. So, the Republican debate went down last night at the Reagan Library in California. So let's get into it. Who saw it? What'd you think? What the hell was going on?
Well, first off, towards the end, I really started to fall asleep.
Why?
I mean, well,
it was 3 hours.
Because Ted Cruz kept staring in the camera. I think he was hypnotizing me. I really do.
Right?
He has power, the guy. Look how he just looks in the camera. Who is that? I can't say. Oh, there he is. There he is.
He needed Sarah McLachlan. He needed Sarah McLachlan playing behind him. Like, it was like a horrendous commercial throughout the whole thing.
I aged watching it. I looked like Colonel Sanders by the end of it. I just had like white hair. I was like, when is this thing going to end?
I think it's just hard. There's so many candidates, and you wanted to hear some substance. But, I mean, they were going back and forth. But 11 candidates, 3 hours. I think you needed fewer candidates. And maybe.
And they kept dragging it out. The moderators were like people who didn't know when a party was over. It's like, I'm in my pajamas. I got to go to bed. Get out. You know what I mean?
They sounded like a really crazy panel of The View, like extra ladies just cross-talking each other over and over again. It was too much.
Trump, I think, took a lot of heat last night from Miss Carly Fiorina.
Yes.
Because, you know, he made those comments about her looks and who could look at that face and everything. And this is what she said to him. Watch. It's good.
Donald Trump said the following about you, quote, "Look at that face. Would anyone vote for that? Can you imagine that, the face of our next president?" Mr. Trump later said he was talking about your persona, not your appearance.
I think women all over this country heard very clearly what Mr. Trump said.
Do you think he jumped the shark last night with that? That she put him in his place on all of that, and now he's not going to be as popular as he has been?
He bit himself. He shot himself in the foot many times. He knows nothing about foreign policy. He has no plan for anything. And people finally saw that not only does the emperor have no clothes, but he doesn't have a store.
I think it's pretty remarkable, too, what Carly Fiorina does. You have to remember, CNN had to make an exception for her. She was only polling at 3%, to exception for her to even be at this table. Then you hear people throwing out adjectives like she was presidential, she was knowledgeable, she was had energy, she had humor.
She looks good.
And Republican insiders gave it to her. They said she won the debate, 60%.
She came out hard out of the gate.
She was the one who was able to express a plan for our country, even though it was very war-driven and kind of stern and a little scary.
I liked her, though.
But she said something to me.
She
I
resonated
understood
with
what it was about.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, I thought she had some traction, and then she lost me because she said, this has been going on, this, you know, because Trump said, oh, pat me on the back, I'm the reason people are talking about immigration. She said, no, this has been on our plate for 25 years, and she named several other things. So that, when you think back to all the things that have been on the plate that should have gotten done, you have Republicans to blame, you have Democrats to blame. Instead of following through, she then went back to the program and started blaming it on Obama. Now, you can't do that. You started so beautifully because as a country, we have some issues. But then you went back to partisan politics, and I had to leave your ass alone.
My overall impression of the evening was, this is what they were saying in my ears. Let's get rid of Obamacare. Let's get rid of taxes. Let's get rid of the Iranian deal. Let's get rid of Planned Parenthood. Let's invade countries. Let's build a wall. That's what I heard. Negative, negative, negative. And they were in Ronald Reagan's library, which is supposed to be, what's that phrase he used, Paula?
And
and
presidential.
something about the morning. Something about how great the morning is going to be.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, wait, that's
No,
Oklahoma.
that's
What is
Oklahoma.
No, but they did invoke Ronald Reagan.
Morning in America?
Morning in
America.
America.
Right. There was no positive optimism last night. It was all, everybody's miserable, the middle class, everybody's suffering, and not really, not
They
everybody.
invoked Ronald
They
Reagan
were
those
too busy
16
fighting with
times.
each other and trying to prove what they did before in office.
Well,
I want to know what
the
you're going to do
entire
now.
debate was one long thanks Obama gift. Do you know that meme, thanks Obama? It just felt like everyone was blaming him for things. And you're right, they didn't offer any solutions to anything.
But let's be
And
real,
as a
that
woman,
happens-
and
that
then
happens
the
in every
Planned
debate.
Parenthood stuff.
Yeah.
I have to say that for me, I mean, I was enraged. I said yesterday I wanted Hillary Clinton to Kool-Aid Man from behind and just knock everything down and like lose her mind. I mean, I was upset. And like for Carly to be there and not stand up for women in that way did bother me.
That's what Joy pointed out yesterday. You know, that, yes, you did. But, you know, I just want to, you know, I like Ronald Reagan. He was a very nice man. But I just want to point out that, you know, he did some things that were not particularly good for the country. In '67, he signed the Latimer-Petris Short Act, which sought to end the involuntary commitment of the mentally ill. So what they did was they closed all of these mental facilities and they dumped. They didn't bring them anywhere else. They dumped mentally ill people on the street.
I remember
Okay,
that.
they dumped them.
Yeah.
Also, you know, the air traffic controllers were on strike.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like if the air traffic controllers are pissed, you want to hear what they have to say, okay? You listen to them.
But it's also hard.
You don't, hold on, wait, let me finish. And so, instead of saying, hey, what's going on? He said, you have 2 days to come back to work or we're firing you.
Yeah.
This caused such an issue because they didn't have any backup. They didn't have any backup. So he wasn't all that for me. And the war on drugs, you know, please.
It's hard, though, to really point the finger at somebody when they're not here to defend themselves.
I'm not pointing the finger. These are facts.
They're facts.
This is what happened.
But you
I'm
can't
not
respond
making
to
it up. There's nothing to defend. It's
I'll
what
tell you who
happened.
was pointing the finger was Chris Christie was pointing his finger at Hillary Clinton last night. He is under 2 government investigations himself. So, as my father used to say,
yes,
people who live in glass houses should dress in the cellar.
I want to ask you guys a question. Okay, there are already so many candidates. They had the JV debate beforehand. Who do you think's the next to drop out?
Out of this group?
Out of the race.
Oh, God. Well, there were so many random white guys. I was like, who's that white guy? I don't know that one. I hope Huckabee drops out for me personally. I mean, everything. First of all, I was expecting him to pull Kim Davis out from under that podium. I was like, where is she hiding? She's coming out.
I believe Huckabee is going to be a guest here next week.
Well,
we can ask him some
that,
questions.
Yeah.
So someone on Twitter said, just to bring it around a little bit, because we do pay attention to your tweets.
Yeah.
No one had informed. Oh, this is Squizzy. We should change
Hi,
that
Squizzy.
name. No one had informed answers on women's health issues. Hearing hashtag Reagan being an idol and blaming hashtag Obama makes them weak, not ready for GOP debate. And another soundbite that I didn't like was we don't need an apprentice in the White House. We already have one. The first part was fine. Take that last part out, because I love Obama personally and I voted for him. But
what about Dr. Ben Carson? Somebody needs to check his vital signs. What is he awake? He was like
resting
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Does he need glasses?
He didn't have his glasses on. You know, I don't want to cast aspersions, but wake up.
He was sleeping, and by the way, everybody else was so sweaty. I was like, what a shiny group of people. Physically, they were very shiny.
But
he was mad. He looked good, though.
The best dressed award goes to Jeb Bush. To me, the best dressed goes to Jeb Bush and Carly. I know this
You
is...
pay attention to that sort of thing. It's important to you.
Yeah, you better dress right. I have to. Why don't you?
There you go. See? I mean, that's important. You do look.
Carly also gave us a little taste. Did you notice? She could have zipped that jacket all the way up. She was like, no, gentlemen, here's 2 inches. Enjoy all that.
I will say, too, you know, Carly Fiorina, again, we mentioned it, that Republican insiders feel that she won this, and then Trump and then Bush. But she had some poignant moments where she talked about losing a child, granted a stepchild, to drug addiction. So you're seeing that softer side to her as well. But I know you guys had it so
soft side to Trump last night. Wasn't he nice?
Well, he was kissing so much, I'm telling you. People couldn't have been bent over more. He was like, oh, your face looks like, oh, Jeb, I don't know your wife, but I'm talking bad about it. I mean, it was like, what happened, Donald? You got schooled last night.
Yeah.
You got schooled.
Yeah, but he's ruining his brand if he's going to be nice. We need that insulting, nasty.
You like it. You appreciate it.
I love that. Anything that comes into his head comes out of his mouth. He's like my Aunt
It's
Rose.
like a baby when you eat. We'll be right back with more Hot Topics.
Next, straight from last night's debate, Governor John Kasich talks live in Hot Topics.
What would you want your Secret Service code name to be? Mr. Trump?
Humble.
So if you had to give him a Secret Service name, what would it be?
Arrogant.
Entertaining.
To me, it would be arrogant and ignorant.
I would give him the Dalai Lama.
The Dalai Lama, that would be his name?
Because he is just so zen.
Boisterous, not humble. Definitely not humble.
I don't know. The Rug? I don't know.
The Rug.
I just think of his hair, and he's like a
Hey now, welcome back. I guess you can tell that was Paula outside doing person on the street this morning after those.
She has a Secret Service name, she told me this morning.
Well, I have a couple. The one for this show is Bacon.
Bacon? Mm-hmm. And the other one had sexual overtones.
Oh, not overtones. There were overtones, there were undertones, there were all kinds of tones.
I said to her, only born-again Christians have sexual undertones.
We get freaky. What can I say? You know, we do.
They're like, underneath it is hot stuff.
Come on. I need to cool you off.
Raven, what's your Secret Service name?
I actually have my own personal service name that I had back when I was touring and stuff like that. But if I had to choose one now, I would be Boop, because my mom always told me I looked like Betty Boop. That was so lame, I can't even take
That's
it.
very Nene Leakes. Like, anyways,
and what would you have one?
I know.
Hashtag.
Mine would be, based off of Carly Fiorina's answer, mine would be Seabiscuit, because hers was Secretariat, and I was like, okay, that's a famous horse. So I want Toby Maguire to hop on and take me around a little bit. You know, Seabiscuit.
What about you?
I think that Whoopi and I share the same one. Mine is Biatch. What's yours?
Well, my original one, I could never tell you. You'd have to figure it out. But I got a new one for you.
What is it?
Spooky.
Spooky. Spooky little girl.
Yes, that's me. Speaking of which, he went to battle with his Republican rivals last night at the debate, and Ohio Governor John Kasich joins us live from California right now. Good morning, Governor Kasich. How you doing?
Hey, you know what? I tell you something. When I get out of this business, I want to be one of the hosts on The View. You guys have too much fun.
Yeah.
He used to have didn't you used to have a talk show on Fox or something? Yeah,
he did.
He did.
Was it called Kasich Closed? Because that's what I would call my talk show.
So, can I call you John? John? I'll call you Governor.
Yes,
Never mind.
Listen, I used to. I'm surprised, ladies, you don't remember what a huge star I was when I had my show on Fox News called Heartland that aired at 8 o'clock on Saturday night. I mean, you know, the whole world was waiting for that show.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of leads me to my question about the show from last night. How do you think you did at the debates? Do you think you made a mark? Do you think anybody knew you were there?
Well, you know, the most important thing for me, ladies, was to demonstrate that I know how to land the plane. You know, I was in Washington, D.C. I was the chairman of the Budget Committee. We balanced the budget. I did it with the Clinton administration. We had a strong economy. We paid down debt. And then I went to Ohio and turned Ohio around. And even in Ohio, no one's been left in the shadows. We try to bring everybody out, whether they're mentally ill, drug addicted. We want to help them. And we want to have a strong economy. So it's important for me to point that out in an era where, you know, if a politician's lips are moving, they're lying. So I don't want to overpromise, but I want to let them know about my record.
Speaking of your record, too.
Is that why you tried to make the point when they asked you why you weren't jumping on the other candidates, why you said, no, I'm here to talk about what I can do?
Well, I think that's right. I mean, if I'm talking about somebody else, then I'm not talking about, you know, the things I believe in, my record. I'm not talking about the whole sense of what John Kasich is all about. And, you know, so that's why I did that. And attacking somebody else, where does that get me, Whoopi? I mean, it gets me nowhere.
No, you're right.
Governor Kasich, I have to ask you, too. I spent 12 years in the great state of Ohio. I know Ohioans loved you. You won your second term by a huge majority. But at the debate, you said that you were working to defund Planned Parenthood. So I want to ask you, and I think a lot of women have the question, if you do defund Planned Parenthood, where do these displaced women go?
Well, I think we should have family planning. I've always believed you just reprogram the money and get it out into the community health centers or any kind of a health center. I don't think we should ever think that women's health does not matter. We believe in it strongly, whether it's women's health, whether it's early childhood, all those things are really important to us. But I think everybody can agree what we saw with Planned Parenthood was not acceptable, and we just need to move the money other places.
Governor, I'm not a Republican, but I like you a lot. And it seemed to me last night that almost all of them felt that Donald Trump should not have his finger on the nuclear button. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think that I can have my finger on the nuclear button because I served for 18 years on the Defense Committee. He's the front runner now, Governor. So should he have it or not?
Listen,
I'm not getting... Look, I didn't criticize anybody last night. Why would I start on The View? You're happy people, and I want to be happy this morning.
Okay, that's fine. So, you chickened out. It's okay.
So, Governor, they might not have realized that you were there yesterday, but everybody who sees the show today knows you're here. Thank you for joining us, John Kasich, Governor. We will be right back.
Next, a teacher shares how her students surprised her with a gift that gave her the strength to battle breast cancer.
Video going viral right now where students taught their teacher a lesson on how love can help you through some of life's most difficult times. Here's their story.
My name is Adriana Lopez. I am a dual language teacher at PS 22 in Staten Island, New York. And what I love the most about teaching is seeing the progress from September until June, how they grow and what they learn, and seeing those smiling faces every day. They cheer you up even when you're having a bad day. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in January. A mammogram turned into a sonogram, which turned into a biopsy, and I received a phone call at home from the doctor, and he said that they found that it was cancerous, and you're never prepared for that phone call. I remember my son coming down the stairs, and he said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "Nothing, just let me have 5 minutes to myself."
Miss Lopez is a great teacher. I think she inspires me because of the way she fights her condition.
She's one of my heroes because the strength and the professionalism that she has shown during this journey is remarkable.
I want Miss Lopez to know that I'm here for her, I'll always be here for her, and I love her so much.
She gives so much to her students. You know, she's like this unsung hero, and we had to sing to her. I came to my chorus and just quite openly just said to them, you know, this is a teacher who's going through a really difficult situation in her life. I said, she has breast cancer. Sometimes you sell kids short in terms of what they're capable of understanding and accepting and dealing with. And they cried, and then they said, we're doing this. You know, they were gung-ho about it.
We went to the auditorium, and when I opened the door, I was surprised to see that the chorus was there.
We are so inspired by your fighting spirit that we wanted to give something back to you.
The song was by Martina McBride. I'm gonna love you through it. those words are so beautiful. It just explains really what someone goes through and how someone always has to be there for you.
When you're weak, I'll be strong.
I started to cry, not only because of the words of the song, but because these beautiful children thought about me and my wonderful colleagues thought about me.
Said I know that you're afraid and I am too.
You could see in their faces that they really meant it, and their emotions and their gestures. And then when those carnations came up, those pink carnations, I don't think they realized how they made me feel.
You guys, thank you so much for coming. Adriana, first and foremost, I was looking at you, your eyes, you were welling up. How are you feeling after watching that?
Oh, it just brings me back to that day. It was such a beautiful day, such a dedication to me, and just watching them again just brought back that moment.
I think everyone wants to know, how are you doing? You just finished chemotherapy, now you're in radiation?
Yes, I finished chemo August 26th. That was my last chemo after 8 rounds of chemo. And I started radiation on Monday, September 14th.
Okay. Well, girl, look, while you were out doing your chemotherapy, the kids made something very special for you.
Yes, my own classroom children, my 4th graders. I was lucky enough to have a substitute who was always there when I was absent, because after chemo I was out for about 5 days before returning back to work. And they took it upon themselves to write me letters and take pictures, and they made a beautiful scrapbook and beautiful, beautiful words.
Mm-hmm. Greg, I just love you. You're just sitting back there, just letting her relish in the spotlight right now. That's the kind of guy you are. But you posted this video online, got a huge response, 24 million hits worldwide. What's the response been like for you, for the school?
First of all, you didn't want me to wear my waterproof mascara. But second of all, no, it's taken the world by storm, this story. You know, when you hear kids bring such a deep and powerful not just a performance, but a genuine love to their teacher who loves them so dearly. It just meant the world to all of us to be able to be part of this moment, and just to see the reaction that it got, you know, worldwide, you know, 25 million views more all over the world. And she's hearing from people, like her relatives in Spain called her up and said, what's going on? We didn't even hear about this.
It's really amazing.
And yeah.
I know that song really spoke to you, and it speaks to so many cancer survivors and people that are going through it right now. And when we come back, we are going to meet the students who changed Adriana's life, and they are performing live on The View. We're right back.
A performance from the students who changed a teacher's life right after this.
Who surprised her with a song that helped her give her the strength to battle breast cancer. Now, performing Martina McBride's I'm Gonna Love You Through It is the PS22 chorus. Take it away, y'all.
She dropped her phone and burst into tears. The doctor just confirmed her fears. Her husband held it in and held her tight. Cancer don't discriminate. Don't care if you're just 48. Two kids who need you in their lives. Said I don't think I can do this anymore. When you're weak, I'll be strong. When you let go, I'll hold on. When you need to cry, I swear that I'll be there to dry your eyes. When you feel lost and scared to death, like you can't take one more step, just take my hand, together we can do it. I'm gonna love you through it. I'm gonna love you through it. I'm gonna love you through it.
Are you knocked out? Because we could see from your face that this was not something you were expecting.
I was not expecting this.
No.
Gotcha. Surprised. I'm very surprised.
Martina, you responded right away when Greg posted this tweet and it went viral. When he posted the video of the kids too, you immediately responded. You said, music is so powerful. I'm blessed to have been given this song. Thanks, P22 Chorus, and much love to Adriana Lopez. And then when we asked you to come in here and surprise her without hesitation, why did you want to do it?
Well, because I was so moved by this video and by this story and by these amazing kids. And it just moved me so much. And when you all asked me to be here, I wouldn't have missed it for anything.
Yeah, and these students didn't know that you were completely surprised. The students found out a little bit earlier, and we have video of them. When you guys were rehearsing, you found out that she was going to be showing up here, and this was the reaction. What was it like to walk out and surprise these students earlier?
It was awesome.
Look at their faces. I love the faces, and I want to talk to little Janelle over here. Janelle, you're one of the students. You guys are laughing at this, but how are you guys feeling exactly about what happened today, and how deserving is your teacher?
When we first met Martina McBride, we were all so shocked. Like, we were all so shocked that we stopped singing for a little bit.
Yeah.
Our faces were like...
We saw it. Has it sunk in yet?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah. Martina, I want to ask you, too, about this song. It's an anthem for anyone that's battling breast cancer. Our own Robin Roberts from GMA is in this, and so many familiar faces. But what really inspired you to write this song?
Well, I didn't write this song. I wish I would have written it. But I heard the song, and like I said, sort of tried to say in the tweet, sometimes I feel like songs are just, you know, sent to me for a reason, and I'm just the vessel that the song goes through to go out in the world and do what it's supposed to do. And so I feel blessed that I got to record this song.
Well, you're a hell of a vessel, baby.
Yeah,
you're a hell of a vessel.
Thank you.
When are you going to be back in the studio?
I'm in the studio as we speak.
Nice.
Great. Yeah, making a new record.
But you know something? Greg, we're not the only ones who want to thank you for your commitment, I mean, to your students, because, you know, this is something you do. This is passion. This is heart. This is something you've been doing with your students. So Retail Me Not is a coupon company that's out to save the world some dough. So they were so inspired by your story and your story when they heard. They said, well, what do they need? Someone asked you, you said PS22 needs a new sound system for their auditorium, so they wanted to donate $10,000.
Elijah Wood is teaming up with one of the twisted minds behind the Saw movies, Leigh Whannell, for a new zombie comedy about a school that gets a killer case of cooties. Take a look.
Anybody have a key?
Probably not.
Let's go.
Please welcome Elijah Wood and Leigh Whannell. You know how much I love you. Go here. You know I love you so much. It's so nice to meet you guys. Leigh, air kisses, love. Oh my gosh, first of all.
Little zombie children are the greatest thing ever.
We think so too. I love that we just went from these sweet kids singing a song to the teacher to like, and now it's zombie kids.
Well, you never know when zombiehood is going to hit.
Yeah, you just don't.
You never know.
What a transition you got.
This was great. You guys are doing it flawlessly as usual.
Thank you.
You had very busy summers, both of you, as expected. Now, Leigh, you were in Spain.
I was. For like a couple of months, I was writing a film and I've always wanted to do it over there. Why not?
I like that. It's chic.
Yeah, why not pull my hair out and be tortured writing a script somewhere else? And so we rented this house. It was a horror film I was writing. And just as we walked in, the English guy that rented us the villa, he hands over the keys and goes, "The last people that stayed here said it's haunted. Goodbye." And like drives off. And so we spent the whole time in this house just, it was very cavernous and kind of scary. I didn't see anything that made me think this is definitely haunted, but it was a scary house.
I would think that would be up your alley, though.
Yeah, it was kind of good. Like, given that I was writing a horror film, it was kind of helpful.
Yeah. I've seen a ghost, by the way. We'll talk about it after in Budapest.
You've actually seen a ghost?
I've seen a ghost. I'll put it in my book.
I need to hear this after.
It's really an amazing story, yes. Elijah, I mean, we love you. Yes, what that's saying.
I mean, you're a genius. Absolutely a genius.
The last time I saw you was at Paul McCartney, I think.
I think so.
We were standing watching Paul McCartney together.
Yeah, we were. Yeah. You know, I love that you're producing and you're acting and you're doing all kinds of things, but somebody said they had to convince you to be in this.
It's true.
You know, most of us are dying to be in the stuff that we write or that we're producing. Why was it so hard to convince you?
Because I started this company to produce, and I didn't want to work as an actor in the films that I was producing because I didn't want it to seem like a vanity project. I just wanted to make the production its own thing, produce these films, and let them stand on their own.
Right.
And that was my impetus, and my producing partners were like, you have to play this character.
Yes!
And I would have kicked myself if I hadn't, because I loved the script that he and Ian wrote, and...
Are you a horror fan?
I'm a huge horror fan.
Me too.
That's what I heard.
Horror ho.
She was reading a horror book last night when we saw the debates before, and I was like,
and then you watched the debates, which was
definitely a horror show.
It was
it really was. Like ventriloquist dummies come to life. I feel you, Elijah.
Elijah, I mean, the one thing we do have in common is that we've been in the industry since before we probably knew how to read.
Yeah.
And
you were younger than me, I think, when you started.
I was 3. How old were you?
Oh my God! Wow, I was 8.
Oh, well, welcome.
Got the jump on it.
Your first, right? Get it together, Elijah. Your first job was what?
It was a Paula Abdul music video for Forever Your Girl.
Were you dancing?
No, I wasn't dancing. I played a young executive at a table and I broke a pencil. It was very pensive.
So adorable.
The whole video was like children playing adults. So they like did a parody of the Robert Palmer video with the girls dancing and all of that. David Fincher directed the video before he started making films.
That's amazing. How do you stay above the water? There's ways to get above the craziness of the stereotypes that we are. Did you go to school? Did you go to college? Forgive me for not knowing if you did.
I did not go to college.
You did
I
not?
actually dropped out of school.
Okay.
High school dropout. But honestly, it's my mother. Like I couldn't be the person that I am had I not been raised by her, and she was so mindful of making sure that I was raised with humility and that I wasn't able to sort of define myself by simply just being an actor, that it was as being a human being first. And all of those values were instilled at me at such a young age, and it became my foundation.
And you also just are super talented, so you never really had a bad job to where you're like, I got to get out of this. It was amazing.
No, thank you. Well, I have to say, obviously, I panicked when I heard, in a good way, when I heard you were coming here, because I am such a big Lord of the Rings fan. I often call myself the Gandalf of the View.
Yes. That's amazing.
That's who I am. Now, it turns out that you actually, Leigh, you were maybe going to be in Lord of the Rings. Is that true?
No, it is not true. I had an audition for Lord of the Rings, and there was no way I was getting... I think I must have been suffering a rare 24-hour brain disease, because when my agent called and said, you've got an audition for Lord of the Rings, what I heard was, Peter Jackson called and personally asked for it. He'll be there. So, I don't know what I was thinking, but I went and paid good money to have hobbit ears stuck on my head, and went into the audition room with these pointy hobbit ears. And I do remember when I walked into the audition room, the casting lady audibly yelped with fear. No. She did this. She was like, okay, Leigh, so we'll just... I'm standing there with these ears, like, dead serious. Not making a joke out of it.
I have to ask a question. Where are the women in The Hobbit? How are there more... how did all those hobbits happen? You can't even answer me because we have to go...
We're all available for the next installment, Raven. Can I please say thank you, Elijah Wood, Leigh Whannell. Seriously, so fun you guys being here. Cooties is in theaters and on demand tomorrow, and we'll be right back.
Right after the show ends, the ladies are streaming live on our website, and you won't believe what goes on after The View.
Streaming live right after this show ends at abc.com/The View. So go there now to get in on hot topics, but don't go until we say goodbye.
Right, not yet.
Not yet.
After we're done.
That's right. We want to say thank you to our audience here and the audiences that keep us going. You guys support us in a way that make us so happy and make us better. We want you to have a great day. We want you to take a little time to enjoy whatever view you happen upon. Thank you, guys.